Jason and Jabari. Jason and Jabari.
What's up,
Uh-oh.
guys? This is Jason from the Jason and Jabari Gaming, and you cannot see my face, but you can see my Battlegrounds deck. I have with me the one and only Truth Comics, my boy. You want to say what's up?
Good day, good day, good day.
All right, guys. So we're doing something a little interesting. I will have Truth Comments link in the description below. Make sure you go subscribe to him and watch his content because he is a very knowledgeable player at Battlegrounds. He's proven that time and time again. So, what are we doing today? Well, this is a throwback to what I used to do when I was heavily into Battlegrounds. In fact, if you guys can go find the first person I did this with and what champion I ended up taking up, you will get a special shout out. The first person that can find that for way back in the day. We're talking over 2 years ago, guys. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about the Gladiator Circuit's meta and potential champions to put in my deck and a potential champion to rank 3 because that's the latest and greatest as we know it as for now. So this deck that you guys see, it's not optimal. It just is a Battlegrounds deck. So the first person that I wanted to talk to you, Truth, because I'm going to clear my entire deck, okay? I'm going to go ahead and hit
Okay.
this clear button, and we're going to get rid of it. So we're just going to go down the line here, and I'm just going to ask you your opinion if you think they should go into the Gladiator Circuit meta or not. But first, we
Okay.
actually need to know what the Gladiator Circuit meta is. Sadly, I can't find it on here. I don't think it actually has a spot for it anymore. I think they got rid of it. Um, but
Yeah, I think you
essentially,
have to try to send a friendly
yeah.
and you can see it there.
Okay, so let's do that real quick. I'm gonna cancel this. I'm going to just, yeah, continue. I'm gonna pretend like I'm gonna send you a friendly, if that's cool. All right, so
Oh
here's
yeah.
the Gladiator Circuit meta, guys. We have Arena of Fear. Both champions start the fight with an indefinite fear passive. Basically, fear passives make it where you can't go unblockable. And correct me if I'm wrong, Truth. I think
No, that's correct.
I think that is all that it does. I don't think it has anything about to stop unstoppable. I just believe it's unblockable. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that means that is the defender as well. So certain
Mm-hmm.
champions such as Serpent will gimp himself because he
Mm-hmm.
actually has the fear passive that he places on you. However, now it's working against him too. So his special 1 and special 2 are normally unblockable. Well, now they technically will not be unblockable. And that's all champions across the board.
Mm-hmm.
You have the I am rooted, and that only applies for special attacks, unless, of course, those champions have like a root mechanic of their own. Um, I believe someone was saying like Craven, he double roots you or something like that. I could be mistaken about that though.
That's probably accurate because I had a match where Zemo was applying things to me in the node route that typically would happen in his own route. So I think that those routes are kind of counting for their own kits and the things that would apply while you're rooted.
Okay, so that's actually pretty cool. Some of you guys could maybe get creative with something like that for the Gladiator Circuit meta with the Zemo Esque, or if you like Craven, he was in the Cyber Week deals.
Mm.
he was there.
Mm-hmm.
The
He
next
does he is a champion in this game. That's true.
that is very true. The next node that we have, guys, is Matador, and this is kind of an interesting one. I accidentally gave you guys some inaccurate information on my last video about Matador. I said that when they reach a bar of power, you gain a bar of power. However, they have to use a special for you to gain a bar of power with Matador. So it doesn't matter if they cross one threshold over bar or if they go red. They just have to use a special in order for you to gain 1 bar of power. And the last. Oh, no, not the last note. The next note is Power Shield. And this says the attacker's basic attacks deal no damage, but still generate power, and their special attacks deal 400% more damage. So the power shield in conjunction with the Matador node makes it where you cannot gain power. Say, for instance, America Chavez, if you throw off her special one, normally she gets a set amount of power back. That's not going to work. Hyperion, he has a power
Hmm.
gain buff. He will gain no power, um, etc., etc. So the only way that I know of for this meta that you can gain a bar of power is for you to allow your opponent to throw off a special attack. Also, your basic attacks won't do anything, but your dot damage over time, will do something.
Hmm.
I believe burst damage does work as well. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay, so burst damage and dot damage, those both will work. Um, the question is, at what potency are those going to apply? Because I've been told a couple things, so this is where your expertise comes in, good sir.
When you're applying damage over time or red damage on your basic attacks, that is going to come through at basic damage. If you apply damage over time or burst on your specials, it will also get the 400% increase.
Can you please
So
give us
someone who
an
applies,
example?
yes, a good example would be,
I'm going to bring it up on the
let me,
screen for them, whichever example you bring up.
Bishop's not a great example. A good example would be Kushala.
Okay, I'm going to
Kushala
Kushala
doesn't
right
apply
now.
damage over time on her basic hits, but she does apply them on her special one because it's a part of the nullification. And those incinerates absolutely slap and tick for a ton of damage.
That is correct. Okay, so now that we have a general concept of kind of what's going on, um, now we can start constructing a deck. So let me go ahead and clear this off. The first person that we have is Serpent. He's rank 3, Sig 200.
I mean, I don't think you can turn him down, but he is gimped both ways in this meta, so he's needs to go in as we're testing, but is technically a candidate to come out.
Okay. Nightcrawler, rank 3, Sig 200.
I think he's a great addition.
Okay. Falcon.
Mm, I'm concerned that his ability accuracy reduction would keep you from gaining power.
I
I haven't
agree.
tested that.
I agree 100%, which is why I was thinking him and Black Cat may hinder some things at various times with the ability accuracy because it'd be just like let me scroll to it so people know who I'm talking about. But Red Magneto, he deals
Hmm.
with ability accuracy as well, and I've played Matador nodes with Red Magneto in questing, and he 1,000,000% will stop himself from gaining a bar of power sometimes, even though they throw off their specials because it deals with the ability accuracy reduction. So I was thinking Falcon probably wouldn't do well when locked on, and obviously that's where most of his damage would be coming from. So you would have to do something kind of funky, like you would not need to lock on before you allow them to throw their special and then lock on. Um, so I don't think maybe he's going to be the best, but I could be wrong. So for now, I guess maybe we'll just have a question mark if that's cool.
Hmm.
Photon.
Photon should do pretty well.
Okay.
She's going to be a pretty good two-way.
Okay. Domino, because there is ability accuracy concern for offense, but what about defense though?
So in my matches against her, I haven't had any issues gaining power. And if you've got good counters, she's going to go down pretty quickly. So I think this is a meta where she's less valuable than usual because of the offensive issues, where I've definitely tried to throw, or they've thrown their specials and I've not gotten power.
Mm-hmm.
And then defensively, I mean, it's legitimately a Red Skull special too,
And
and
she's
she's
dead.
toast.
What
Yep,
about even Nimrod at this point? Would Nimrod work relatively well?
probably.
Okay.
I mean, because he's gonna put that shock off of his special too, so it's gonna amplify that damage.
Yeah.
She's probably dead in one Nimrod special too.
Okay. So are we thinking maybe we hold on her and just go for a different mutant champion, or do we think that she's still potentially worth putting in the deck?
I think she's a question mark. I
Okay.
think that
Another
for a
question
lot
mark.
of people, myself included, right now she's in. I think when you have more options to an account more of your size, you can be much more flexible in who you choose when it comes to
Okay.
some of these,
Okay.
keystone defenders.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's another question mark, guys. Thank you for the helpful information. Kindred.
Kindred, I really like. Because you're only doing damage through your specials and you need a bar of power when you want to kill him.
Hmm.
If you don't kill him before he gets to his 30 charges, you're effectively eating degen damage.
Right. Offensively, do you think he'll be viable? Because, I mean, everything that I've heard you say, could that DGM potentially go burr if he's throwing off specials?
So I think that the passive degen damage, because of how it's applied, is not going to be multiplied unless it's during the special. I haven't checked that for sure though.
Okay, so,
The degen you apply from your special one will be multiplied.
okay, okay. Excellent.
I think for your rank 3, I think he'll probably do pretty well. I took a serpent or something with my rank 2, and it took me too much time. It was slow going against a big serpent, but
Well, you know I
I think
love
with your
my
rank 3
Kendrick
you'd be good.
cooks.
Mhm.
You know I love
Mhm.
my Kendrick cooks on attack. Titania, I heard she wasn't too good for this meta.
I've heard the same, haven't tested her myself, but given how she does her damage, she's probably going to be quite a bit slower and gimped versus what she normally does.
Okay, so we'll just leave her out for now. Sasquatch.
Sassy's pretty classic. I mean, he's a two-way, right, with the damage reduction. If you get some good crits on that SP2, especially in Wrath, I do think, this being such a nuky meta, you're gonna want to go with some more obscure defenders at times versus some of the classic ones because they'll actually buy you more time.
Okay,
So for instance, even in this meta, I would say Kindred's gonna be a better defender than Sassy by a fair margin.
I agree. I agree with that. I also now I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I just while it's on my mind, that's just how my brain works sometimes. I also actually have heard that you probably don't want to run MD 5 out of 5 for stall option purposes.
Yeah,
So you're not constantly gaining all that power to throw off specials. You're actually stalling because you still only have 2 minutes, and the only way they can do the damage is if they throw the specials essentially or dot damage, right? So
yeah,
that might be a
yeah.
more strategic advance move for some of you guys out there when you're coming up with your mastery setups. But so Sassy will
It's a
just
good
like
show.
put him in for now, but he probably can come out.
Yeah.
Guardian.
Guardians should do very well. I think I don't even know if you need to go special one, special two. I think we need to test it. But I think with 3 charges, a special two is probably going to kill most things in the contest as long as
Right.
it converts to the shock.
I think by the time that you are able to throw your special two, you have your striker available,
Hmm.
and I think that amplifies the damage. I don't know if it amplifies it along with the percentage base that you get from the power shield though. But I
Yeah, I
would,
don't
if
know
I
how those
were a
stack.
betting man, I would say his SP2 is probably going to kill anything that walks. I
I agree with you as a wagering man myself. And also, I think he could be a little bit of a defensive menace.
Yeah, because that auto block. Unless you have
Exactly.
someone with the armor break, which we're going to talk about more champions that we think for you guys, by the way, guys, to help you guys out because I do want to help you guys. Right? I do care about you guys, and these might give you guys a little bit more to think about, or hopefully uh, spark some ideas for you guys. So we'll get more about that later. Next up, we have Atuma.
Um, he's probably just going to be okay. I mean, the reality is a lot of those big mutants I think are going to nuke him pretty well. He does damage back. Jugs isn't on the table. I'd probably toss him in. I've got a rank 3, pretty high sig.
Yeah, we're talking all rank threes, by the way, because you know how the battleground deck
I
works.
figured as
Yeah,
much. Yeah, I
yeah.
figured as much.
Uh, America Chavez,
Um,
I'm not considering putting in my deck, but what are your thoughts on her?
I think with the deck your size, that's probably fair. Um, she's going to be very crit dependent on this SP2. And
Right.
so in my playing with her, there was never a time I killed in one SP2. I always had to go to two SP2s. And so that's, needing 4 bars of power, 4 specials. Took too
Which is a
much time.
lot of time. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Count Nefera, I have seen crazy, crazy defensive skills this meta from Count Nefaria. I am so serious.
That is true. I do believe that's going to change. From my understanding, there was a bug in how he was interacting with Matador,
Okay.
and they're going to update that so it won't be what it's been, where he launches to his SP3 in Ionic mode and then just cycles them.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure what
I
he's going to
saw
look
him
like.
spamming special threes and I was like, "Oh my God." That was crazy. Like literally the animation ends, he's back at another special three. Animation ended. I was like, "Okay, that's not a fun time at all." But I still what do you think about him without the bug?
I he so I think without the bug, I need to know more about how he works. I don't have one, and he's actually currently my most sought after champion.
Okay,
I
mine
believe
is
he has
Awaken.
some interesting interactions with power and power
He
gain.
does. He actually does. I wish I could like read him to you, but it's not allowing me to do anything but click on him or click off. But essentially, mine is Awaken, which is actually kind of it's not it's not. I mean, it helps him a lot in my opinion,
Mhm.
which allows him to do the gain power off of you gaining power and still health off of you as well. So
Okay.
that's like the big deal. And then when he's in ionic overcharge, then he's taking like 90% reduced degeneration. He's taking 90% reduced incinerate shock. So
Yeah.
he's kind of goaded, man. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
sounds like he needs to stay in for sure.
Yeah, he's kind of good in my opinion. Cap Infinity War.
Oh, that's an interesting one. That's one I don't think about because I don't have.
Yeah, that's special
I'm not
too,
sure how
man.
the SP2 scales. I mean, if that SP2 scales at 400%, it seemed like he'd basically one shot everything.
That's what I was thinking. So we think maybe he should go in because again,
Yeah,
Titania's off. So now we gotta kind of make up for that.
I think so. He's definitely worth testing. So might as well put him in to start.
All right, Killmonger.
Um, I'm not particularly high on Killmonger. I don't think this is going to be a very favorable meta for him myself. I don't think he's I don't think he's great in a lot of metas. He was pretty good last meta because of power gain.
Hmm.
I don't see much from him this time in my opinion. Not between Kate's running around and Negasonics running around and their increased damage off specials. I don't know if I'd put a waste a spot there.
Okay, is the same for Korg?
I find Korg more valuable. Maybe this is my own bias. Um, but I mean it kind of is the same thing. So we're gonna have to pick some skill defenders no matter what.
Yeah, I was thinking they would have to mess up with Killmonger to where I mean,
I
because if they
I
do
think
mess
so.
up with the reverb, then that's you know that's on them. But I mean I don't know.
I mean, I guess it is, you're going to want to bait special ones, and I think both of those champions have a special one that can get you.
Right. But
I
with
think Korg's is a little tougher and going to
yeah,
get you
if
more.
Korg is Sig 120. So if you hit
Yeah.
him with a medium and it's physical, or you hit him with a special and it's physical, you're taking some real damage this time. Because my Korg is decently, but you know it's I don't know. We're just constructing a deck right now for everybody. So
Yeah. You have more experience with the rank 3 Killmonger. I would pick one of the two. And I like Korg. He was my first rank 3 7
Yeah.
star.
Okay.
He's not let me down in my time, so I would go Korg over Killmonger.
Okay. Next up is Starkey. I heard he didn't work as well.
I've heard the same thing. He does so much hit on his basic attack, so it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, you'd effectively just work to 10 charges as you work to your special 2 and hope you take them down in one special 2. At rank 3, I could see a special 2 doing 300k damage, but I don't know. I
I
haven't
don't
seen it.
I don't either. Okay, we'll have a question mark for him. What about Piggy? I heard he wasn't that great either.
I heard the same thing, and then someone took my sassy in like 58 seconds, which is slow for Piggy, but they said that the stings were still doing damage, and I didn't think that they were supposed to. So if stings
Hmm.
still do damage, then I think he's
Well,
probably still worth running.
stings are red numbers, and red
Yeah,
numbers are considered either burst damage or dot damage.
that's
So
true.
that makes sense. So we could
That's true. Now there is some conflict because you do typically with him want to push to the special too.
right,
At the same time, you want them to throw specials because you want bars of power.
right. Hmm.
So,
I don't know.
but also there's the defensive side too. I mean, that taunt of his will slow some people down.
That is true. So let's just put it in for now. I know we're wasting people's well, we're not wasting anybody's time, but this video is going to get long. So I might go slightly faster. I heard
Let's
Juggy
go.
is terrible.
Yeah, there's some sort of interaction where because he can't go unblockable, you can't get his fury. So,
Okay,
you know,
Juggy's a no-go. Uh
Juggy's a no-go.
I'm assuming Red Skull is a good one.
Yeah, Red Skull, Domino counter, all the anything that can be shocked without energy resistance is going to go down in a special two.
Okay.
And then they'll toss you a special, you'll go to special one, you'll pause that stuff and everything dies.
Okay. Man Thing, what do you think?
Yeah. At your rank 3, I would put him in.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Negasonic.
think it would be interesting. I think she probably has to go in.
Yeah. I think she's gonna do great. I hope. Destroyer, rank 3, sir.
Um, I would put a question mark on him. I haven't
Okay.
played enough with his degen, special 2 to see if it does anything. I think
hmm
defensively, people have him fairly figured out, and if you just nuke him down too quick, he's not going to do much for you. So,
Well, I was thinking, how can you nuke him down unless, of course, you let him throw off his specials, which then, if he
yeah.
throws off his special ones, he's going to do the power gain thing, which he's going to go red, which you're going to die, or you're going to have to parry him a lot because you can't intercept him. And with block penetration on, you're talking
No,
about a
it's fair.
considerable amount of block damage that in a Nuki meta could be costly. So I don't know. I don't know.
It's fair.
So
It's worth testing.
yeah, definitely worth testing. I was gonna ask you about Shocker. I heard he has some defensive value, but I don't know. What do you think?
He does definitely have defensive value because as his charges build and you're baiting specials, you need to intercept him to reduce those while he's unblockable, but he doesn't go unblockable, so he doesn't lose his charges. Now, that said, he is purely a defender. And
Right.
if you're going to let Kate run around, Kate's going to wreck him because she's got the true strike
Kate is an
or
auto
true
ban for me.
accuracy.
I can promise you that.
Okay. The other one that I was playing with last night that worked super well was Sinister
Really?
because he can pause the stun. You parry, hold your heavy a couple times,
Ah.
let him throw that special one. You throw and put the degens on him, and even an ascended Sinister, I'm pretty sure I only had to do one set of degens on a rank 3 shocker, and he was done. It was 51.5k.
Oh, okay. Well, mine is definitely rank 3. So,
Yeah.
is he worth trying? Because
Um.
you've only named two champions, and the likelihood that you're going to
Yeah.
get them, especially if I'm going to ban one of them, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No. Yeah. I think so. I think that most other people will struggle.
Because we're going to have to do something when it comes to defense with all these nukes running around, in
True.
my opinion. So, Black Cat, what are your thoughts on Black Cat, man?
I've heard good things about her only. I'm assuming so all of the champs we've named that deal with ability accuracy deal with all ability accuracy.
Right.
She deals with defensive ability accuracy, and so I'm not positive that she'll interact with Matador in a negative way. We need to test that.
Okay,
If
so
she doesn't and she's consistent, her special two is gonna nuke most things.
yeah, because all those bleeds and everything too. Okay, cool. Because I'm gonna
Yep.
change my masteries up. I'm definitely running deep ones this meta. We're getting to why. Okay, so Dust. What do we think about Dust?
She should do well. No, she already has a bunch of prowess, so I don't think her damage is going to scale particularly well in the power shield. But I'm not positive about that. No, Sunspot should too. I
Yeah,
think
that
Dust should do well.
we're definitely gonna
She's
get
going to
to
be
Sunspot
tricky
for sure.
defender. You can't counter her that easily.
You're right. Okay. What do you feel? How do you feel about Papa Luke? Because those concussions might screw you up, in my
I'm
opinion.
almost positive they will.
Okay.
In Crit Me, right? If you put two concussions up, you weren't going to get the passive when you
Okay.
intercepted.
So he's probably
He's
not
probably
someone.
out.
Yeah. Okay. Weapon Flex. He's rank 3.
Should do pretty well. I think to your point of wanting to buy time on
Mm-hmm.
defense, he's going to have that regen phase and he's going to buy you some time,
Okay.
unless there are a bunch of Nimrods running around, right? That would make that different, but
Which we
I
might
would
put
make
a
people
Nimrod
call
in
you
our
on
deck.
that.
Yeah, we might put Nimrod in our deck, y'all. I don't
It
I
might be
don't know.
worth it.
uh
And then offensively, as you just get those bleeds, that will do damage. You throw big specials. I mean, once you get the Fury up, he hits pretty hard,
okay.
and then you start applying bleeds. I think he could be, a special and done.
Okay. How do you feel about Enchantress?
I think she should be banned from the game. I'm just kidding, just kidding. Um, I think she's, anytime you have to force people to throw specials. I mean, I probably am going to ban her the whole season.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be nasty
Um,
throwing off all them
she's going to
SP1
be
stuff.
terrible on defense. You're
She's
going to have
gonna
to
be
bait specials, and
Yeah, she's gonna
she's
be
going to do
fantastic.
damage, and it's
She's
going to be
gonna be
ugly.
great. It's gonna be fantastic. Okay, now we're moving into Ascension territory. We still have more rank 3s, but I guess their
Okay.
PI is a little bit lower. So, which this is good for you viewers who have rank 6s and stuff. This might be beneficial. So I'm gonna continue to go down the line. We got Masacre, which unless I like really think that that champion has a lot of value, I'm just gonna let you state your opinion on them. But I'm probably not gonna put them in my deck, more than likely. But
It hurts my soul, but I took my rank 3 out of my deck.
I mean, no,
His
I
his
might
damage
have.
doesn't scale,
Oh, okay, okay, it doesn't.
so it
Okay.
takes more than one SP2 to kill something, so it's not worth
Mm.
having him in.
CGR.
I don't care for how the nodes interact with his playstyle, but I've also seen people nuke with him.
Okay. Because he can't gain that bar of power and all that stuff, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you
Yeah, you
just
got to
have to.
bait a couple specials and
Right,
stuff, but
right. And then on
yeah.
top of that, you make it a little bit harder on yourself because you don't want to dex while you're baiting their
Hmm.
specials too. So depending on who it is, that might be easier said than done because if it's someone like Destroyer with block pan or something, you don't want to take all that on the block. So you have to strategic and you're rooted, so you're not moving.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's something to consider, guys.
Hmm.
Scorpion.
I don't I don't put him in my decks anymore these days. I don't
Yeah,
think he's got the damage to compete.
yeah, he doesn't.
He
Arc.
might with some SP2 bursts, but not for your deck.
Yeah, that's true. Arcade. What do you feel? How do you feel about him?
Again, I think similar to the Enchantress, like you're gonna have to be baiting specials. Special ones suck because it interacts with his auto block, so
Yep.
you're gonna wind up having to parry and heavy and worry about getting parried.
Uh,
And special two, gonna wind up hitting that in the block. I would put an R3 in on defense
oh yeah.
myself.
Okay, so we're back to R6s at the moment. We have Quicksilver and then we have Hulkling.
I don't I don't like Quicksilver. I don't see a ton of anything from him. I mean, he does red damage, so if you love Quicksilver, do it. But I
Okay.
don't see a ton of value for him myself.
All right.
And SP1's easily dexable. Um, who was the other one?
Hulkling.
Oh, Hulkling can't go unblockable, so you don't get the big fat fury. So I wouldn't put him in.
Yeah. Onslaught. Rank 3.
Onslaught's onslaught.
Yeah.
Well, you got to put onslaught in.
Got to put him in. Silver Warrior.
I don't know how his damage scales, but I would think with the Furies that maybe his specials could slap, but I would
Yeah.
go to a guy I know who has some expertise. His name's J Will.
You right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how well he would do this meta to be honest, but technically you're going to be doing a lot of hitting, right? And then
Hmm.
with the hitting, with the hitting, it gives him his armor ups, and all you got to do is like swing. So you can swing 4 times in the air, you can get an armor up, and then you can dash back, hold your hold your block, and then they'll convert into furies. From that part, that's kind of tricky though because I don't know because I've never
Yeah.
tried it. I think maybe he can work, but I'm not entirely sure. It's gonna be interesting. I'll put a question mark by him for now.
Yeah.
And you did say Kushala is gonna cook, right?
Yeah, she's great in this meta.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about stealth suit Spider-Man?
I think similar to Starkey, but even suffers from it more. Too
Okay.
much damage on his basic hits,
Right.
not enough on his specials to be worth it.
Okay. Nick Fury.
Probably worth having in for defense. I don't know how well he'll do on offense, though. Those special twos could theoretically slap, maybe.
Okay.
Defensively, though, he's either going to take you time because you're going to be baiting special twos, or
Right.
eventually he's going to start throwing the blockable special ones.
Yeah. I've seen a lot
So,
of people running Danny and Penny for this meta too. So he may.
yes, that's fair.
Okay.
That's
Speaking of
fair.
Sunspot, you said Sunspot's gonna cook, right?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Long Shot and Werewolf by Night. How do you think about those two Mystic champions?
I Both of them benefit from that damage on the special two. I
Okay.
think long shot's probably a little more limited because it's incinerate. But I mean, I think I saw someone send me a 48k long shot versus bullseye. Like
Ooh,
that's where we're at in this meta.
that's crazy.
So
Well, his special ones are insta bleeds though. Long Shot.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. So they took, two specials worth of block damage and then launched a special two and killed him.
that's crazy.
I don't know what to tell you. So long shot's a one SP2 and done.
Yeah.
I think Wolf can do the same thing. I think he's a little bit different play style because you're not going to be gaining your power and stuff. But
Yeah. Okay.
those ruptures on the SP2 do scale
Mm,
and can be nasty.
okay. How do you feel about Red Guardian or Hercules?
I think they both have potential. I don't have Red Guardian in. I saw MP try to use him last night. My concern with him is he's very crit reliant. If you don't get
Mm,
that crit, you're going back to a special two again and going to try to
uh,
cycle.
gotcha. How do you feel about
Um,
Mephisto?
Probably going to drag stuff out a little bit, right? Between needing to bait specials with his power gain's kind of going to hurt you, actually, because
Okay.
they're going to be getting bars of power. But he's got the regen, so you can't just nuke kill him.
Okay.
So he might
Gotcha.
be okay.
Yeah, he might be decent. We might give him a try. Now, I've personally tested Hyperion and I like him. I know his
Mm,
power gain's not there, but those incinerates and when you don't
hmm
I think the Furies they scale with the Furies as well, I believe.
They do.
So, you
They
can
do.
I was heavy in and I dropped the man thing very quickly with SP1s.
Yeah,
Very
that makes
quickly.
sense. I think he scales pretty well with something like Power Shield. And if anything, I don't want to say it's a benefit to him not to have his power gain, but in BGs it almost is.
Right.
Because then you can build more Furies and have more control over which special you drop.
Now, on defense though, he's going to not only gain power from being hit, but he's also going to have his passive power gain work for him as well, correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you can't make him, which we all know Hyperion is super annoying, so he may or may not work decently at times on defense, especially if you cannot get the AI to bait out a special. Um,
True.
so I think he has a little bit of potential defensive value as well, but not normally. Um, another three that I'm going to throw at you real quick is Sim Supreme. Human
Hmm.
Torch, and
Hmm.
Valkyrie.
Torch, I would drop. I mean, his passive damage is nice. I guess he's a question mark. The passive
Okay,
damage would be nice. It's not you're not going to get a ton of scale or benefit from nodes and stuff, but he's one of those champs that doesn't need power.
right.
Um, Valk should do pretty well with that scaled special too. Again, be if you need it thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Sim Supreme's an interesting one. So the you actually probably gain power a little bit quicker potentially in baiting specials. So offensively, there's an interesting thing, but you probably won't use him there. Defense is where you would want to use him, and it's
Sim
because he
Supreme.
gains power so slowly that he buys you time.
Right. I went to Sim Supreme, guys. Sorry. It was actually Superior Iron Man, but yeah, my bad.
Sim Supreme.
I said Sim Supreme. My
Superior
bad.
Iron Man should cook on that special too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, especially if you can build up your buffs.
Oh
How do
yeah.
you feel about Gallon?
I wouldn't mess with Gallon other than the fact that Penny is out there.
Right. And
And Penny's a
she's just gonna,
problem.
yeah, she's just gonna get banned. I'm not gonna do that. All right, so we
Okay.
have Gore, Thing, and Prowler.
I don't care for Gore myself. I could see where he might do pretty well. Um, and you just applying debuffs as you bait specials and dropping a big special 3 and killing them.
Mm,
I'm not sure how that would scale.
okay.
Thing's gonna have some value because he limits attacks. Right, as you start throwing big specials, he's gonna put his protection up.
Okay.
I'm running Prowler. I don't think he's inherently great this meta. He's just shy in what I've tested for me being able to kill things in one special too.
Okay. We definitely
So
want Bullseye and Sinister in the deck, right?
yes, yeah, for sure.
What about
Bullseye is a little less valuable than usual just because of the nukiness
hmm
era. Sinister is a monster. He's a
okay.
machine.
What about Maestro?
Since you're not doing basic damage and your specials are amplified, this is not a meta fit that I think benefits him that well. But I will say that on stream yesterday, our boy Empy, shout out to Big E, my Maestro gave him some trouble for sure with
Okay.
the Kushala. So he's probably got some defensive potential.
Okay. And what do you think about Electro?
I don't think he's going to do that well because you're not going to do any damage back to them on their basics. And if you have people who are killing with simple specials, for instance, your Hyperion, your Onslaught, etc.,
Hmm.
I mean, you basically just whack him, dust, whack him, throw specials, beat him down. I don't think he's
Okay.
going to do great myself.
I think I'm gonna try Nimrod, but what do you think about Iceman?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it.
That's an interesting one. This might be a good Iceman meta. It might be a pretty solid two-way.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. Okay, so we have a deck, guys. We have a deck, and now we're gonna talk about potential R3. See, you guys thought I was gonna leave you hanging. All right, so here's the deck for now, guys. This is a tester deck. It won't be the final deck, but in this video, I'll put in my final deck. Um, maybe is well, it can't be the final deck because the season doesn't start until when next Wednesday. But anyway, let's go ahead and save that. And now we're gonna move the conversation over to my rank twos that I'm considering to rank three that Truth has willingly agreed to help me with. So shout out to you, Truth. Thank you. So here's who I'm thinking that may work for this meta, and then you tell me what you think in like in your or your excuse me numerical order that you think
Okay.
would be the best. So we have Sunspot, right?
Okay.
We have Kushala. She is duped. I'm sorry. I should be telling you these things.
Okay.
Sunspot is he's decently sigged actually. He's sig 120. So that helps with his solar flare state and all that stuff.
Okay.
Kushala is awakened. She's Sig 20.
Okay.
Shang-Chi, he is awakened as
Mm,
well. He is
that's an
Sig
interesting one.
60. Yeah, I was thinking so. Um, Warlock. Warlock is awakened and he's Sig 20. We have Thing, who's awakened, but he's low Sig. He's only Sig 20, so I'm not sure
Okay.
how much you think that matters. Um, Beyond those, I don't realistically see myself taking up anyone else. I have Penny Parker, however, she's unawakened, and I place value on her awakened ability to use offensively instead of just her being used primarily defensively.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of them, I mean, I have Bishop, but I wouldn't do Bishop right now. I have Null. I think they're both solid. I think they both will be solid for this meta. I just don't think I would be ended up taking either one of them up. Now Mysterio's interesting, but I probably wouldn't take him up right now either.
Yeah. So I will say, as a shout before we get into numbers, that I really like Bishop this meta myself. Now, granted, I'm biased. Okay,
Right, right, right.
Bishop was my Necro selector, and he got my generic 2 to 3 gem. But that special two is gonna kill everything, and if
Yeah,
it
I think
doesn't, the
so.
incinerated applies will.
I think so.
And you got to bait specials to get power. So enjoy your special ones and special twos.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a
No,
fan.
he's
I
actually
like
pretty
Bishop.
good. No, now with Bishop when he throws off the special one, do the incinerates when you're next to them? Does that get the increase?
No, because they're not applying from the special that way. They're applying from the aura
Okay,
that you generate from the special.
but what about the special two incinerate?
That one comes from the damage you do on the special two. So the incinerate itself, well, it's amplified from the damage that you're doing in
Okay,
the special.
okay,
So the way it's worked since I've been using them is effectively you'll take at least 80% of their health down with the special two, and then a fat incinerate starts to tick.
okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
It's just if I didn't have Sunspot as an option, I would probably consider Bishop more
that's
heavily,
fair.
which it I think Bishop, to be fair, is a very good dual threat, probably
Yeah,
more so than he is
yeah.
in normal metas. But the value of him for me can't lie with just one meta. It would have to be like me looking at it futuristically, and I
Hmm.
couldn't really see myself using him as much as I probably nuke with Sunspot because he's a natural nuke anyway, or
This
something
is
like that.
totally fair. I have both at rank
Yeah.
3, so let that be what it is.
So, what do you
Okay,
think,
so
good
with
sir?
what the 5 you gave me, I would personally pull Thing out of the list,
Okay.
primarily because of the Sig,
Okay.
right?
That's more
This
than
being
fair.
had the damage meta, you want to limit their damage. Since you're not limiting their damage that much, I don't see a ton of value.
Okay.
For me, I would put Shang-Chi fourth. I think that I haven't played with that special two. If that special two nukes in one special two and you have enough time to build your chi chargers, could be great, but it's very much could be great. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
And then has no defensive value whatsoever.
Correct.
Sunspot, again, just the known nuke. Like we know all of the things that Sunspot can do, so therefore I hold him in a higher esteem than Shang-Chi.
Okay.
And so for me, then we get into the top two, and that's Kushala and Warlock. I think both are great. I think Kushala is probably better in this meta
Okay.
because she's so versatile on attack. If they can incinerate, you just drop special ones. If they get a bunch of buffs, you still drop your special two. Now your soul barb, it will only tick big from the special damage once because it's during the special, and then the way I guess it's doing its math is off of the buffs, so it's not a continual damage like a damage over time.
Okay.
But she'll still do great damage on her special two, and then her special three applies degens if you need those instead, and they do scale. So you will apply one degen for each blessing you have up. If you get 5, 6, 7 blessings up, there are some big degens that come out of that. I threw a special three against an onslaught, I think, with 4, and he went down 80 to 85% of his health.
Oof.
Yes. So
Okay.
she is very valuable and she's very flexible. She takes Bullseye, she takes Serpent, she takes Domino. Uh, she takes a lot of those champs that can be problematic.
Okay.
That said, we all know about that big Warlock special 2.
Oh yeah.
That special 1 can't be slept on when it's doing a bunch of damage in this meta. And of all the metas, if they don't have good armor breakers or a way to deal with his armor,
You
you
ain't taking it.
cannot crit with that armor up.
Yep.
Also, for me, I'm not banning Kate. And so he's a great Kate proof defender
Correct.
for me. So it's really 1-1A for me. If I had to put it on one, I would probably say go Kushala,
Okay.
but I love them both. I have them both at rank 3.
Okay, guys. Well, you heard the man. First of all, huge shout out to you, Truth, for all your knowledge. Um,
My pleasure. Thank you for having
I
this
most
conversation with me, bro.
certainly thank you for taking the time to talk through this with me. As promised, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take a champion up to rank 3. And I think after listening to Truth's Truth, I had to do it. I had to.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I did do that. We're gonna go ahead and take Kushala to rank 3. So boom, there it is.
Let's
Rank 3,
go.
Kushala. Uh, she's definitely gonna go in the deck. She's definitely gonna take place of some of the mystics that we ended up not putting in the deck. And I hopefully think that she'll be really, really good. I did see some crazy things done with her already, this meta, so truth was not lying there. Um, so let's go ahead and check her out briefly. There she is in all of her glory. I do run the Iron Fist relic with her. I don't know if that's the best relic to run with her. What do you think, Truth? Is that the best relic, or should I put on the Scarlet Witch relic for the
Yeah,
blessings?
I would probably go to the Scarlet Witch relic. It just
Okay,
benefits her more
we do
naturally,
have
especially in that bullseye matchup.
yeah, we do have a 6-star Scarlet Witch duped relic that I had on my Enchantress. Um, so I think I'm gonna take it off of my Enchantress, right? And then I'm gonna take the 5-star off of my absolute 7-star Scarlet Witch, put that on my Enchantress. Uh, where is it? The 5-star will go to my Enchantress because we won't be using her on attack anytime soon. And where is Kushala at? The Iron Fist relic will come off of her, and we shall place. Now, do you know which blessings we need to put on the relic?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on the meta, but on that first one, I go with Rejuvenation, increase that regen rate.
Okay, got that already.
Helps a ton with those bullseyes. And then I increase my special attack damage and I
Okay,
increase my ability accuracy.
you know what? We had all these on already, so that's perfect. And just because I like you a lot, Truth, this is because I like you a lot. I'm gonna surprise you, man. I kind of
Oh,
lied to you, man. I kind of lied to you, man. So we're gonna take another champion to rank 3, guys. We're gonna take one more to rank 3.
look at
And
this guy.
after listening to Truths, we're gonna go ahead and take Warlock to rank 3, guys.
Oh,
Boom.
let's go.
There he is. There he is, my man.
Congratulations, brother.
Well, thank you. So now we have two rank 3 champions, guys, that I think are gonna cook. I think are gonna cook. Um, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I think these are some W rank ups. I think the explaining was an even bigger W. The last question that I have for you, good sir, before I let you go, is what relic will we be placing on Warlock? Because I have the Sentinel relic on him. That's a 4-star. I don't know if we need like something a little bit stronger, like a Hulkbuster relic, or what do you think?
I tend to run the Vision Relic on him.
Okay.
Um, because it's tied primarily to heal block and gets benefits from heal blocking.
Okay. So I will take it off of my beloved Civil Warrior. And what blessings are we gonna put on then? As soon as I can find my warlock. Uh-oh. Oh, 1 second. He has a relic on him. That's why. Okay. Take the Sentinel relic off. Okay. Okay. What are we looking at as far as
So
warlock?
I think it's more important that it's duped because that's where I think he gets the main benefit of it,
It
which
is
has to
duped.
ties to attention.
Yep, it's
Then
duped.
I'll go with inflicting a heal block effect, the one on the right side, the AI tactician.
Okay,
I
got
don't
it.
think his stuff's considered a heal block effect though. It's infection, so it's its own thing.
Okay.
But then I go with the DOT potency up and increase his potency for his shock.
Okay. Got it.
And then I go with the block proficiency since it's again not counted as a heal block. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that the infection's counting as a heal blocked and I get something out of it, but that's a hope. I don't know how the math works.
Okay. Well then there we go, guys. There he is in all of his glory, my new rank 3 warlock. Well, thank you so much, Truth, for your time, man. I certainly appreciate you talking this out with me. Hopefully we can get some cooks in this meta. As it stands, real quick, just for everyone, I'm going to hurry up and take off 2 champions. I'm gonna take off Nimrod and throw in Warlock. And actually, I don't know who we're putting in place of Kushala. Who do we say that we're considering that may or may not be good? I'll just take Thing out. Well, we have too many. Yeah. We'll just have Sassy out for this brief moment just to show you guys real quick. All right, so here's the deck, guys, for now. Subject to change. But again, huge shout out to you, Truth. Thank you so much, my brother, for assisting me on this. Hopefully, we can come up with something really, really good within the upcoming days as far as testing and things like that. But yeah, guys, hopefully this information helped you guys. Truth, do you have anything to say to everybody before we sign off?
No, thank you very much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure of a conversation, and I wish you and all those who watch this the best. Thank you, brother.
Peace out, guys.